performance of April and take your questions. Now I would like to give the floor to Ms. Liu. Good morning. First of all, I would like to give you a briefing on the national economic performance of April. In April, we continued the stable momentum, and in April, under the leadership of CPC Central Committee with Government Xi Jinping at its core, all the departments have followed the instructions from the CPC Central Committee and State Council and pursued progress while ensuring stability. We fully implement the new development philosophy and speed up the building of the new development paradigm and promote the high-quality development. And we continue to improve our domestic needs and also optimize the structure. We are continuing to promote the high-quality development. So in general, the economic performance has been stable and maintained a sound momentum. First, for the industry production, we have seen that we have a fast increase of the manufacturing industry. In April, the industry added value above destiny size increased 2% compared to the last month. By three major categories, for the added value of mining industry increased by 2.1%, manufacturing industry 7%, electricity, heat, gas, and the supply industries increased by 5.8%, and also for the added value of the manufacturing industry also have increased 3.9% compared to last month. And also for the high-tech manufacturing industry also has an increase of the 5%. By economic type, for the added value of the SOEs increased by 5.4%, the joint equity enterprises grows by 6.9% and also 6.3% for the private business. If we look at the products for the NEVs, printing products, and robots also increased by 55%, 39%, and 31% respectively. For the first 4 months, and the industry added value above destiny size increased over 6%. In April, for the PMI is 51.4%. For the first 3 months, the total profit earned by the first 3 months also has increase of the 13%. Second, we continue to improve the service sector. In April, the national index of service production has increased by 5%. If we look at the different sectors for the transport, warehouse, and post service, accommodation, catering, IT service has increased by 10%, 6%, and 5%, and 4% respectively. And also we are seeing that a double-digit increase for different sectors. So for the first 4 months, and the production index of the service also increased by 5%. And also the business activity index is 53%. For the railway, transport, the broadcasting and satellite communication, and these sectors also above 55% as the high level of the business environment. And also we continue to improve the market sales, especially for the increase of the retail sales of the consumer goods. The number is over 3.5 trillion yuan and up by 2.3%. By location of the business premises, retail sales from the urban area is over 3.2 trillion yuan, 2.3%, and the retail sales from the rural areas increased by 3.5%. By categories, and for the commodity sales is 3.4 trillion yuan, increased by 2%, and the revenue from the catering sector has increased by 4.4%. For some of the upgraded products has realized a huge increase, especially for the apparel products, textiles, communication equipment, sports and recreational supplies. Automobiles increased by 6%, 2%, 6.4% respectively. And for the 4 months of the year also have an increase compared to the same period of last year. And also we are seeing that for the online sales of the physical goods has also accounting a large portion of the retail sales of the consumer goods. For the first 4 months, we are seeing that for the online sales also have realized a double-digit increase. And for the investment for the fixed assets also have a good increase. So we have seen the investment on the fixed assets for the first 4 months is about 14% increase compared to the same period of last time. By different areas, investment in investment infrastructure increased by 16%, and also investment in real estate down by 9.8%, and for the sales of commercial residential buildings down by 22% compared to last year, and also the sales of the commercial building down by 28.3%. But industries investment in the primary industry increased by 1.9%, the secondary industry increased by 13%, and also investment increased 0.3% in the tertiary industry. If we deduct the real estate investment, we are still seeing an increase of the investment from the private sector. And also we see a big increase of the investment in the high-tech manufacturing and the high-tech service industry. Within the high-tech manufacturing industry, for the manufacturing of PC and office supplies and also the aircraft making also realized double-digit increase. Within the high-tech service industry, we also see a double-digit growth in the e-commerce service sector and also the service sector in commercialization of the research findings. Fifth is about the trade volume. We continue to optimize our structure of the trade. So in April, we have seen a 8% of the increase. The export is over 3 trillion yuan, increased by 5%. For the import is 1.5 trillion yuan, up by 12%. And also we are seeing a surplus of about 500 billion yuan. The total trade volume in April, we have a 15% increase. Export increased by 4.9% and import increased by 6.8% for the first 4 months. And the general trade volume accounting for 50% of the total trade volume, and the trade volume of the private enterprises accounted for 54% of the total trade volume, up by 2.5% compared to last year. And also we are seeing a 6.9% increase of the export of the mechanical products. Six, we have a stable employment rate. We continue to decrease the survey unemployment rate. The average unemployment rate is 5.2%, down 0.2%. So in April, the figure is 5%, also decreased compared to the previous 2 months. And the local registered labor force for the employment rate is 5.1%. And 4.9% for the migrant registered labor forces, and the jobless rate for the migrant rural registered labor forces is 5%. For the unemployment rate for the 31 big cities is about 5%, and the average working hours per week is 48%. And also we are seeing that we have the CPI growth rate is slowing down. In April, the CPI increased by 0.3% compared to the last month. Last month is a 0.1% decrease. For the food and alcohol, down by 1.4%, apparel up by 1.6%, accommodation up by 1.2%, daily necessities and services increased by 1.4%, transport and communication down by 3%, education also down by 1.8%, medical service down by 1%, and for the other products and the services increased by 1.8%. For the food and alcohol, for the fruit has an increase, and also for the grains increased by 1.5%, and pork increased by 1.4%. If we deduct the food and energy prices, the core CPI increased by 1.7%. For the first 4 months, the CPI increased by 0.1% year-over-year. And for the PPI, down by 0.5% and 0.2% compared to the last month. For the purchase price decreased by 2.4%. For the first 4 months, the PPI and the purchase process decreased by 2.7% and 2.3% respectively. In general, the national performance is stable. Even though we are affected by the seasonal reasons, we are seeing that we have a slightly slower growth, but still for some of the figures, we continue to grow, and also we have a very robust internal growth drivers. Also, we have a lot of opportunities, but still considering the complexity of the external environment, we still face a lot of challenges for the economic growth. We will continue to be guided by the Xi Jinping thought on socialism, which has characteristics for the new era, and also continue our efforts to pursue high-quality development and speed up our efforts to build new development paradigm and promote high-quality development, and also to strengthen our efforts in implementing the micro-regulation policies to make sure that we can improve the high-quality development in China. Now the floor is open for questions. With Nanfang paper, just from the figure, we are seeing that for April, we still maintain a good momentum in the economic performance. Some of the key indexes has been improved. Can you give us your comment about the performance in April? Thank you for your question. So just now I have released a number of key figures in April, even though for some of the figures may have some decline or slower in decline. However, for the industry production and also the trade volume as well as the CPI also have a very good performance. We continue our efforts to improve the high-quality development, and the economic development remains stable. I would like to emphasize 5 aspects. First, we will continue to improvement of the industry production. For example, we could see for the industry added value above designated size have increased compared to the previous month and also increased compared to the same period of last year. And many sectors and also the products has also increased compared to the same period of last time. And also for the delivery rate of the volume, also we are seeing a 5% increase. Especially we were seeing that for certain sectors, they have gained a very fast development. And also for the service sector, that is the same situation. The index of the service production has increased by 3%. This is also affected by the holiday. For example, for the Labor Day holiday, for all of the holidays, they actually fall in May, meaning that in April we have 2 days less for the holiday. Because of the seasonal reasons, this may have an impact for some of the figures for the accommodation and catering and also the tourism sector. So for the last year, and the national index of the service production is about 30%, which we should peak for the whole year. And according to our calculation, because of the high basis of last year, and this will also have an influence of the national index of service production for this year. If we deduct these seasonal reasons, we are seeing that the service industry is still resuming its rapid recovery. And also, if we look at the trade volume, we are seeing that for the trade volume has turned positive. If we look at the first 4 months, we are seeing that the trade volume has hit a record high. And also for the export for some key products, for example, the mechanical products, they has been increased by 6.9%. And also we are seeing that for some of the integrated circuits and some of the electric vehicles also realize a high increase. And also we are seeing for the consumption have also been recovered in April. In April of last year, the increase of the retail sales of consumer goods is very fast, but still it is affected by the holiday. According to our calculation, because of the seasonal reasons and the holiday reasons, and this will also have a 1 percentage point influence to the performance of April of this year. If we look at like different types of the products, we are seeing that for the consumption of the upgraded products, we are continue to realize positive growth. So for in April, the retail sales of consumer goods still have an 8% increase compared to the previous years. If we look at the investments for some southern areas, there may be some raining and flooding factors, but with some of the facilitating policies, we are seeing that for certain investments, we still see a big increasement, especially for the investment in the manufacturing. For example, in April, for the investment on fixed assets, realized a 4% increase, especially for the investment in the manufacturing sector, increased by 9.7%. And also, we are seeing a good improvement for the employment and also the CPI. We continue to drop the jobless rate, and in April, this figure is 5.5% and also have a decline compared to the previous months. For some of the key sectors, we are seeing that we have a lot of improvement for the survey unemployment rate for the migrant registered labor forces and the migrant rural registered labor forces. We continue to see we expand the consumption, especially the domestic consumption. And also we are seeing a big increase of the CPI, increased by 0.3% in April. If we deduct the energy factors, the core CPI has been increased by 0.7%. Fourth, we also seeing a good improvement for the enterprises. And now we are seeing that for the market prices and also for some of the PPI and the CPI, they also have a good improvement compared to the previous months. So in general, we have a very good confidence for the market expectation. And for the service sector, we could see the business index is 55%. And it is remain at a very high level compared to the past 3 months. So for the market expectation index is 55%. We are still very optimistic about the market performance. And also we are continuing our efforts to improving the new quality productive forces. We continue to upgrade the enterprises and also the industry added value. And we all see that for the total profits earned by the industry enterprises above designated size has increased. And also we are seeing that for some of the consumption has been improved in certain sectors. For example, we are seeing some of the new business models. For example, we are seeing some of the live streaming selling, and this also helps us to improve the online sales. We continue to transform the green development. For example, we are selling a lot of the new energy products, the NEVs, and also some of the green services. And also we are seeing a lot of increase of the investment in different sectors. And for all of these investments, they have put in place and also boost development of the high-tech manufacturing industry and the high-tech service industry. Given the fact that we have a lot of complexity of the external environment, we still face a lot of challenges. And still we have to lay a solid foundation for the further growth. In the future, we will continue to follow the guidance of the CPC Central Committee and the State Council and make sure that we can guard against the risks, optimize our structures, and improve the domestic needs, make sure that we can maintain the steady growth of the economic performance. Thank you. With CMG, recently for some of the international organizations, they have adjusted the GDP percentage growth in China. So what is your perspective? As you said that in this year, we could see that in general, the Chinese economic growth has maintained a sound momentum. So recently, for some of the international organizations, they have adjusted the expectation for China's GDP growth, showing that the confidence from the international organizations. So in the future, even though we are still facing a lot of complexities and also we are facing some of the internal risks, but still we have a strong resilience of the domestic economy. I believe that with the implementation of the micro-regulation policies, we will continue to give a good ground to support the economic development. First, we will continue to boost the development of the new industries, new products, and the new business models. And right now, we continue to speed up the modernization. We are focusing on the low-carbon sectors and also the digital economy. We will foster the new growth drivers. This will also give us a lot of resilience and confidence in promoting the new quality productive forces. You could see that we realize a big increase for the industry added value above the SNT size. And also we are seeing that as for the product output, we are seeing a big increase for the solar panel cells and also the integrated circuits. And also as for the consumptions, we are seeing that for a lot of the high-tech products, they account a huge amount of the total retail sales of the consumer goods. We will still have a big room for maneuvering. And we will continue to expand the domestic needs in China. So start from this year, many sectors, they will continue to invest in the innovation. We are seeing that we have a very steady growth of the investment. So for the first 4 months, we are seeing that for the investment in the high-tech manufacturing industry has increased by 11%, and this is faster than the general investment. With the upgrade of the equipment and the new policies coming into effect, we will continue to strengthen the investment in the high-tech industry, and this will also expand the investment on fixed assets. And for the consumptions, we will continue to boost the consumption. For example, to boost the consumption in some of the contact-based industries. In labor holiday, actually we are seeing that for the passenger traffic has been increased significantly compared to the same period of last year. As we improve the employment, we could see that in the future, the consumption market will continue to improve. Third, I would like to talk about the policy. They will continue to take effect. And this year, we will focus on some of the micro-regulation policy to make sure that we expand the domestic needs, optimize the structures for the different regions and areas. They have released a number of policies. And recently, we continue to release the trillion national treasury. So this will also help us to improve the confidence in the market. With the policy support and the fund support, I believe that for the key investment will continue to increase. And this will help us to consolidate our foundation to boost the economic development in China. I believe that in the future, we have a lot of positive factors to facilitate with the economic development. Thank you. Next question, please.
Thank you. Market News International. China's CPI quickened to 0.3% in April, with core inflation at 0.7%. To what extent can this be attributed to a recovery in domestic demand, and what is the outlook for CPI for the rest of this year? Thank you.
Here is the Chinese translation for the previous question.
4月中国 CPI 升至 0.3%， 核心通胀率为 0.7%， 这在多大程度上是因为内需复苏？年内 CPI 前景如何？
Thank you for your question. So in April, with the demand of the market, especially for the consumption demand, we are seeing that a lot of improvements for the consumption in the market. I'd like to emphasize a few features. First, we have seen very positive year-over-year growth. For the CPI growth is 0.3%, also faster than that of last year. For the non-food, the price, also we are seeing a 0.2% increase. For the energy price, increased by 3%, up by 2.3% year-over-year. And we deduct the energy, and also we are seeing that the core CPI also have a big increase. And this is a very moderate range. Second, we are seeing that if we compare month-to-month figures, the month-to-month figures in April, this figure is increased by 0.1%. And also for the products price also have a moderate increase. Now we have sufficient supply of the products, even though we have large quantities, but now the price is moderately decreased. If we do not look at the month-to-month comparison, we are seeing for the non-product figures, we could see that we have an increase of some of the fees in the sectors in the accommodation and catering and also the tourism. And for these sectors, they also realize different range of increases of the prices. And also we are seeing the gold price has been increased, and also the petroleum gas has been increased by 3%. If we look at the service price, we are seeing that the CPI has been increased by 0.3%. It still shows that we have a recovery of the service industry. And also we are seeing that for the core CPI has been increased. In April, the core CPI has increased by 0.7% and 0.1 percentage point compared to the last month. So going next, the weather is getting warm, and also the food price will continue to decrease. And for some of the industry products, and we may expect an increase of the price for the service prices. So in the future, if we continue to boost the development of the service industry, I think in the future we may expect a moderate increase of the CPI. Next question, please. With Hongxing News. So can you tell us more about the performance of the property industry? In the previous government conferences and meetings, and they are also launched a lot of policies to boost the development of the real estate sector. Can you tell us more on that? And start from this year, for different cities, they have implemented a lot of policies to boost the performance of the real estate industry. And also we are seeing that right now still at the stage of the adjustment. And right now for the sales area of the commercial residential buildings have a decrease of 22%, and also the sales of the commercial residential buildings in the last 3 months also have a 28.3% decrease. We will continue to adapt to the policies released by the government, and also we will also consider the needs of the local residents and making sure that we can structure a good framework to promote the development of the real estate market. Thank you. With Satellite News from Shenzhen, my question is about the investment in the manufacturing industry in the April, especially in the high-tech industry and also the green development. Can you elaborate on this point? Thank you. Thank you for your question. So start from this year, we continue to boost the investment on the fixed assets. We could see that the investment of fixed assets in April increased by 4.2 the year over year. And this is because you just mentioned that, I have just mentioned that this is because of the flooding issues in the southern area. For example, the flooding in Guangdong and the Sichuan province, and the investment is quite moderate in these two regions. And for these two provinces, because of the decrease of the investment, and this will also have an impact of the overall investment on fixed assets in China. As for the investment, I would like to highlight a few features. For the investment in the manufacturing sector, we have continued a stable increase, which is 9.7%. For key areas, for example, for the investment in the investment of equipment, this has realized a double-digit growth. And also we are seeing a big increase of the investment in the upgrade of the high-tech industry equipment. And also we have 11.9% increase of the investment in the high-tech manufacturing industry. Especially we are seeing a 49% of the investment in the aircraft manufacturing. And third, we are seeing we have a big increase for the upgrade of the equipment. With the policies being implemented for the first 4 months, we are seeing that we have a faster growth in the e-commerce service sector and also the service sector in the commercialization of the research findings. For the first 4 months, we have realized the investment for projects valued over billion yuan. So in the future, if we continue to see this good momentum, and together with the good confidence of the market, I believe that the investment will continue to play a key role in boosting the market development. Next question, please. With CNBC, my question is about the consumption. Can you tell us more about the trend for the consumption in April and in general? Thank you. So I believe you'll pay a lot of attention for the consumption market, and we continue to improve the domestic consumption for different regions. They are improving their business environment. We are seeing that the consumption market has been resumed. As I just said, for the retail sales of consumer goods has increased by 2.3% year over year, and this is because of the impact of the holiday. And in April, we don't have much of the holiday compared to the same period of last year. But if we deduct the holiday and the seasonal reasons, we still see a stable growth of the market sales. If we compare the retail sales of the consumer goods in April versus March, we are still seeing a slight growth. And in the consumption market, we could see that for the daily necessities, we could see an increase of the consumption. And also for the retail sales by the business above the necessity size, for example, we are seeing that for the daily necessities, they have been increased by 4.4%. And for the communication equipment, sports and recreational supplies increased by 13% and 12.7% respectively. We are seeing a big increase of the consumption for the upgraded products. As for the consumption of the service sector, and we could see for the first 4 months, we could see that the sales has been increased compared to the previous months. We still see a lot of people, they would like to travel during holidays. And in the first 4 months, for the sales of the accommodation and catering has a 9% increase. And also for some of the rental and the commercial services, they also realize a rapid growth for the consumption. And also we are seeing a good increase of the online sales of the physical goods, accounting for 23.9% of the retail sales of the consumer goods. So in general, for this year, now we're seeing that especially for the holidays, we are seeing a lot of the consumption improvement in the holidays, and this will also inject vitality of the market performance. But still, we have to seek opportunities to improve the confidence for our consumers. In the future, we will continue to improve the development of the new business models, and we will continue to unleash the potential for the consumption. Next question, please. With CMG, in April, for the industry added value above designated size has been increased by 6.7%. What is your interpretation about this figure? Does that mean that we have a good prospect for the industry production in the future? In April, because of the support of the micro policies, and also we are seeing a big increase of the trade volume, we are seeing that we have a good increase of the industry production. So in April, the industry added value above designated size is 6.7% increase year over year, and also we have a 0.7% month-on-month ratio. There were several features by different categories. We could see for all the categories has been increased. For example, for the added value of the mining industry has been increased by 2.1%. The manufacturing industry, the added value has been increased by 7%. For electricity, heat, gas, water production and supply industries has been increased by 5.8%, and also 80% of the industries and the output of the products has rebounded. For example, for the 33 sectors, they have realized a growth compared to the previous months. We calculated over 600 products, over half of the products we are seeing that they have an increase of the output. Third, for the export of the industry products also have facilitated the industry production. For example, we are seeing an improvement of the export of some of the export products. The export has been increased by 47%, 5.9% compared to the last month. For some of the key enterprises and also the key categories, we are seeing a double-digit growth. And also we are seeing a rebound of the added value of the manufacturing industry, and it has registered a 4.9% growth. For the vehicles has been increased by 39%, and also for some of the other product output, we also want to highlight a few. For example, for the NEVs, it has increased by over 200%, 2 times double compared to the same period of last year. And also we have seen a big increase of the sales of the 5G mobile phones. And also we are seeing an increase of the added value of the manufacturing of the consumer goods. For example, for the paper making and also the chemical products, all of these different products, they also have an increase of the added value of the manufacturing sector. For these sectors, all of these growth rates has already exceeded the average of the added value above designated size of the industries. And in the future, we will create more space for the market with the AI and the green development. All of these will help us to increase the new growth drivers and also to inject vitality to boost the industry production. And in this year, we are seeing that for the PMI, we are continue to grow. and also for the total profits earned by the industry enterprises above designated size, and this will also provide support for the industry production. Thank you. We study economy, and my question is still about the consumption and also about the CPI. We are seeing that for the CPI has a very good year-over-year growth. What is your trajectory and the prediction of the CPI trend? You also attach great importance for the change of the CPI. I have just answered this question before. In April, we are seeing that we have a lot of demand from the service and also the domestic demand. We are seeing that for the CPI has been increased because last month is 0.1 and this month the CPI has increased by 0.3%. And also we have a very good month-on-month growth because last month we have a 0.1% decrease, and this year in April we also have a good increase. But we are paying a lot of attention to the core CPI. We do see positive figures for the core CPI increase, even though we are deducting the energy factor, and we are seeing that the month-over-month increase has been increased by 0.2% for the core CPI. So in overall situation, we are seeing that for the CPI has been improved in different aspects, meaning that we are still restoring the consumption market. As I just said, for example, for the food prices and also the prices for the industry outputs, for the food products, as see, we continue to increase the supply, but still maybe the price will not have a big increase. But maybe we will increase the price of the industry products with the support of the policies. And I believe that in the future, we're still expecting a moderate increase of the CPI in the future. One last question.
A question from Bloomberg News. We're wondering how big of an impact do you think the U.S. additional tariffs on Chinese goods may have on exports? And additionally, we see that many regions are hiking utility prices. How big an impact do you think this will have on consumer inflation? And are there concerns that this could lead households to cut spending in other areas? Thank you.
好，请翻译一下问题。彭博社记者提问。
So this is the translation from the previous question.
关税对中国商品出口有什么？第二个，公用事业价格上涨有何影响？
Right, thank you for your question. You have two questions. First is about the tariff impact on the export of China. So recently we are seeing the US government will continue to impose tariffs on certain products in China. And a lot of people attach great importance to this act to see whether it has an impact for the Chinese economy. I would like to share with you some of my opinion. This year, we could see that for the Chinese economic development has maintained a stable growth. And also, we have continued to boost the dual circulation. So for the general economic development, and we are seeing that we have very good resilience of the economy. This will help us to resolve some of the external impact and the challenges. For example, we have a very good mega size market, and this will help us to increase the domestic demand. So for Q1, the domestic demand has contributed a large portion of the total consumption of Chinese market. If we look at the first 4 months performance of the market development, market sales, and also the trade volume. And we could see that for the trade volume in April also we have realized a 12%. And also we have a big increase in the import as opposed to the export. And also the production rate has maintained at a high level. So if we look at the market expectation and for the PMI, and also this figure is about like 50%, we have continued to see we have very strong index of the business activity. Especially we have a very good momentum in developing the manufacturing industry in China. And also we are seeing opportunities to expand the opportunities in the international markets. And also we are seeing that we have a very good development of the general trade volume. And also we have being the major partner of 140 trade partners, we still have a very good trade status in China, even though we are facing with a lot of challenges. But still, we have a solid foundation for the economy, and also we have a very strong momentum of the internal growth drivers. We believe we have the capability to cope with the challenges. Thank you. And also as for your second question, you are asking about the pricing. And in April, if we look at the CPI growth rate, we could see for the water, gas, and also for some key categories, we already seen some of the increase for some key categories. And also for the power price has been maintained stable. So for the water price, we have been increased by 0.9%, and also the gas price increased by 1.4%. The train ticket price also has increased, and for these factors combined all together, this will also contribute to the CPI growth. So we will see for the CPI, this is have a 0.3% increase in April. And that is the general update. So we have another question. With the paper. So for a long time, we are seeing that we have a lot of commodity purchase, but still we are seeing that for the CPI, we do have a slight increase in April. So what is your perspective for the future trend of the CPI? In April, the PPI have been decreased a little bit. And also we have a 0.2% year-over-year and month-over-month. And this also have a slight differentiation compared to the last year. And we want to emphasize the importance of the contribution of the gas and the electricity because of the petroleum and also the electricity price impact globally, and this will also affect the price for these industrial products in China. With the recovery of the consumption market, we are seeing that for some of the products, for example, for the apparel products, sports, recreational supplies, jewelries, textiles, and cosmetics, and some of the prices has been increased by 0.3% to 0.5%. And if we look at some of the decrease, and for the coal price, it has been decreased slightly. It declined 13% compared to the last month, and also for some of the aircraft prices also have a slight increase. But in general, the price has been increased. And also for some of the processing industries, they also realize a certain degree of decrease. And I believe that for the commodity price, there may be some fluctuations, but with the upgrade of the equipment and with the new policies, I believe that for some of the industries will continue to increase the PPI. Thank you. So that comes to the end of the press conference. Thank you, Ms. Liu, and thank you for your participation.